At a time when humanity needs a light to guide it towards a better future with itself and nature, one man set out on a quest from God. His mission? To hand-deliver messages of hope and comfort from those living overseas to their loved ones in Europe that they couldn't embrace. That man is me, Juke Blue, naturalist, teacher, singer, horseback rider, and servant of the people. My heroic mission of self-sacrifice is one filled with music, beauty, and most of all humility, because this is not just my story, but all of humankind's. Join me now on my mission from God for the people. My journey began in Greece, a country my travel agent told me had a population in the low hundreds, meaning my social media footage would mostly be free of in-the-way people. My travel agent had explained most people left Greece in the 1970s to open restaurants and other more populous countries. But I could already see that this too may have been a lie. I was therefore in two minds to believe her tip about heading to the suburb of City, where she said gangs of film crews could often be found hanging about like taxi drivers, mountaineers or drug dealers looking for clients. One crew would certainly be willing to film a man on a mission like myself, she said.
Well, here we are, and I certainly do not see any film crew. I do see a gentleman there having a sit and a think, but some pigeons. Well, that is about it. Hello. Here we are. Here we are. Awesome. I thought she was pulling the piss, but here you are, film crew.
I picked a sturdy-backed director called Christos. He had the look of a man who'd spent a lot of time in the mosh pit, careworn and hardened. And that, to me, meant he'd be able to handle the bumps and the blows that would surely come our way during the upcoming quest. Christos was fresh out of film school, a late graduate following 17 successive postponements. He was, however, the first in his class to finish, and that spoke of ambition.
Awesome.
So, where do you want to go?
Well, I was thinking of having like a bit of an introductory backstory. So we go somewhere that's very atmospheric, where I can actually explain why I'm on this mission, why I'm here in Greece, just without any kind of people in the way ruining the shots. Now, atmosphere, as stadium operators learnt during the COVID period, doesn't actually have to exist to be appreciated. And that is why we have come to the very last remaining bookstore in Athens. Because just look at all this atmosphere around us, just waiting to be appreciated. And if you listen carefully, you can actually hear the imaginary characters dreaming. Oh no, that's the air conditioning. Yeah. Oh, hello.
Κάνετε το ρε αλήτες. Βγείτε έξω από το μαγαζί μου, γρήγορα, έξω από το μαγαζί μου. Τι είναι αυτά τα πράγματα.
Yeah.
Και εσύ τι κάνεις εκεί ρε. Τι κάνεις, φύγε από εκεί. Γρήγορα, έξω από το μαγαζί μου. Έξω ρε αλήτες.
Unfortunately, in a place full of stories, the owner didn't want us to record my backstory there. She also didn't want to lend us a book about horses, which would be essential for the next chapter of my quest, as she was, quote, not a library. I feared it would not be the first time that Satan's cloven hoof would seek to trip me in my service of mankind, or, in modern parlance, that species working its hardest to destroy the planet before anything else does.
So the story goes about 3 weeks ago, I guess. I was sitting there on the edge of my bed in Berlin, completely greased up, naked, ready for the act of self-love. And behind me, I hear this little voice. Oh, Juke, you're back, mate. It's like, it's been a while, but I know that voice. Hello, God, how have you been? Oh, busy, mate, busy. Yeah, COVID. Yeah. How about that, Juke, mate? I've got a bit of a favour to ask. I sense that people are feeling a little bit low at the moment, and I want you to travel around on horseback, delivering messages of hope and love from loved ones that can't embrace their loved ones in Greece and other countries across Europe. And I want you to film it, and I want you to be the love connection between these individuals who can't embrace their loved ones in Europe, you know, maybe because they're sick or, you know, in jail, or they don't have the money. And yeah, I want them to feel the fabric of love. That's what I want. And I thought, well, first of all, I don't know how to ride a horse. Second of all, isn't that kind of the role of the postal service to deliver messages? No, it's not the same. I want you to do it and act as like a love connection. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to be the one to remind you of this, God, but about 5 years ago you came into my life, similar situation. I was fully clothed that day, and you had, what was it? The heavenly melodies. That's right, the 12 heavenly melodies, and you gave them to me. I'm again very thankful for this, but I did convert these into songs and I put them on YouTube as videos, and that YouTube channel I created for your love action has now, what, about 200 subscribers, and I don't know, vies in relevance with Paris Hilton's, I'm guessing. Well, what's your point, Duke? Well, there's a lot of sunk costs. Yeah, but I'll pay you back. Will you? You know? It's like, oh, and another thing, nearly forgot. I want a big series. When you get to Greece, right, and that's going to be your pilot, and, you know, when you're there, I want you to make a theme song for the whole series, and I want a big choir, and, yeah. Oh, and the little melody, I prepared it for you already. It goes a bit like this. And then he sang this little melody.
So, God's like a TV producer?
Yeah, essentially, but one I have to pay for.
Okay, and how many countries does he want you to go to?
He said 10.
10 countries. What about the language barrier?
Well, that's actually why we have to hire a squire, you know, to find the horse and tend the horse and travel around, you know, and translating essentially. But I mean, it's 2021, so there's probably an app for that, you know. Squires for hire or squire me tender. So our search has led us here to the house of Feng Wei. He placed an advert in the local online version of like a website that is, they use it here to sell bikes, second-hand bikes. So he's selling his bike. He's from the Philippines. I'm not sure about his English. I did speak to him on the phone, so I think it's pretty good. But the basic idea is that we go inside now, I double check his English, make sure it's okay, and then I think we've got our squire for this show. So fingers crossed, guys, come on, let's go check it out. Feng? Feng? G'day, I'm Juke Blue. We spoke on the phone about the bike. Can we take a look?
Yes.
All right. It's red.
Very red, yes.
Is that a 12 gear?
Yes, 12 years old.
Feng's English was perfect, and if he was in Greece, then his Greek was probably just as good. It was time to ask him to squire me.
Feng, there is actually another reason why we're here, and it's got nothing to do with the bike, to be honest. I need somebody to help find me a horse and then to tend to it over the coming days, and also to translate as I go about delivering messages of hope, love, peace and forgiveness to people.
Greek horse?
Well, yeah, obviously I don't think a foreign one would know where to go. We're on a mission from God. Yep, let me draw it for you.
Despite Feng quickly understanding the need for a local horse, he simply couldn't understand why I needed to rent a horse instead of buying his bike. I tried to explain that a horse was the symbol of freedom and fearlessness in the face of a collapsing world, a collapse we as humans had brought about through our disconnectedness with nature and our ignorance of our intricate trophic systems, partly induced by the West's Greco-Christian worldview that the earth was put there for the benefit of mankind.
This is not what you want.
In hindsight, I realised it might have been too much to explain in such a short amount of time, and at one point I feared I'd lost him. So finally I said,
What if I just give you $100?
Okay.
Bonza.
At last I had something Feng could understand. On his journey from Saigon, he had passed a horse ranch that he could, quote, probably find again. It was time to head out.
You go on quest?
Yeah, we go on quest, we go on quest. Look at the camera, man, just look at the camera, yeah.
First, though, I felt it wise to hit the books to learn the essentials about horse riding.
Now, what I've learned about horses so far is that you can't approach them from the front, right? You have to actually approach from the side, because you can't approach from the back either, because they'll kick you in the teeth. And if you approach from the side, make sure you don't make eye contact, because that'll spook them, right? What you have to actually do is sidle up to them. And once you're close enough, you can whisper to them, right? The sweeter the better. Because think about it, you're getting onto their back, not the other way around. And if I were to get on someone's back, I think I'd need some.
Lady say we don't go now. Lady will call the police.
Now, although Satan had prevented me from deepening my knowledge about horses, I felt what I had learnt was sufficient. Due to my songwriting background, I knew that if I could get close enough to whisper to one, a horse would melt like putty in my hands.
Ah, yeah, well, here we are, folks. El Cabello Blanco. Well, we'll be meeting our new horse. I already know what I'll be calling mine, Winnipeg, after the capital of Canada. It's got a certain je ne sais quoi about it, as the Dutch say. Oh, can't wait to be up there with the wind in my... Yeah.
I don't think Canada has a capital.
Knowing a direct approach would spook Winnipeg, I took my time, walking about in a circulatory fashion so the horse would see me without feeling threatened and clearly understand how fine a jewel I'd be for its back. Gradually I got closer until the whispering could occur. I quoted lines from G.K. Chesterton's poem Lepanto and explained that, like Monty Roberts, I was on a mission to leave the world a better place for horses and humans. I sensed Winnipeg brightening at this, and I was permitted to mount. And then we were one. Winnipeg Blue, a team that carried the banner of heaven into the hearts of men and women, assuming they were okay with that. It had only taken a single day, but already I had a squire and a steed. But just when things start to go well for me, Satan's cloven hoof is never too far from meddling in my affairs. It didn't take long for that hoof to strike.
When you get a gift like that, you just grab it by both hands and you run with it. That is special.
The horse must stay here.
What do you mean?
No go.
Why?
For training. For the girls to train here.
Yeah, but we'll bring it back. Did you tell him that we're going to use it to go from city to city delivering messages of hope, love, peace and forgiveness to all the people who need it?
Yes.
And that we're on a mission from God?
Yes, God. Yes.
And then we're not going to go to Poland to try to sell it?
No, no. Yes.
What's his problem?
The horse must stay here. No go on quest.
No go on quest.
No go on quest.
Oh, maybe we don't need a horse for the first episode anyway.
Isn't that half of the shtick gone?
Knowing that Christos would edit this piece, I wondered how I could hide from him the fact that I didn't know what shtick meant. It was clearly a storytelling word and I didn't know it. I'd simply have to pretend that I did.
Yeah, you're right.
It was then that the Lord gave me a flash of insight. Editing.
Pinkster, I want you to go back over to that man. I want you to ask him politely if it might be possible just have the horse for 10 more minutes. And we're going to have a shot out on the road, you and me, the Holy Messenger, mounted on his steed, loyal squire beside him. And we'll edit that shot everywhere we go somewhere new at sundown.
But what if we arrive somewhere during the day? Continuity might be an issue.
I I could see there might be some creative differences with my director, but I was confident any smaller technical misunderstandings could be smoothed over as long as we remained focused on the bigger picture of bringing hope to the people.
Yeah, and we just cut there. Perfect. Now, here we are, folks, in Christos's editing suite. And the secret to creating a great spectacle is to never let the viewer in behind the scenes, because that breaks the spell and ruins the magic. Now, unfortunately for humanity, we're living at a time when make-believe and science fiction has become all a bit too real. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, who are you, Juke Blue? You know, are you even a real singer? And to that I would say, it doesn't matter. Because when society starts to value the pretense and falsity of itself, instead of the work of doctors and scientists and even satirists working towards pricking the bubble of anti-fact and trying to disabuse ourselves of illusionary, self-destructive beliefs, then that society has a problem. Now you might say, well, what's fact? It's arbitrary. And to that I would say, well, all the more important to use tones of compassion, forgiveness, and reveal a willingness to understand the other. Because if you don't, what happens? Disconnection. And that disharmony, and addressing that disharmony is why I'm here. And why the man upstairs has insisted that I frame my entire show in music, the great connector. And why, in the next chapter of our quest, we visit Athens' most esteemed and revered choir masters.
He went by the name of Charalambos Steropoulos Humbus, but I simply called him Maestro.
So here we are, folks, out the front of the maestro's house in Athens. The church service has just come to an end. And I am a bit of a nervous man because I have requested that the maestro listen to a demo track that I prepared, which I'm about to give him. And yeah, hopefully he can convert that into a choral version for the final performance. So while Feng tends to the horses, we're going to go inside and hopefully hear some good news. Cowbells, nice touch. Hello, Maestro. I'm Juke Blue.
Yes, I've been expecting you. Do you have a demo?
Yeah, sure. Straight to business, eh? See you somewhere.
Let's take a listen to it, shall we?
Sure. So what did you think?
Well, it has a really nice melody. I have a group of very good singers that can sing the lead.
I was actually hoping I could continue to sing that part.
No. Do you want a really nice job? Really nice job? Is that for your television show? Okay, then leave it to me. I can arrange something. When do you want to record?
Well, the thing is, Christos here is helping me. He's a wedding photographer, so he has a gig on tomorrow, which means we kind of need to do it today-ish.
It can be done.
Ah.
And how much are you paying?
This is a pilot, right? So if we get funding for the full series, we'll be able to pay a very, 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 very fair amount.
And you pay an unfair amount if not, is that it?
Well, it kind of depends on what you mean by unfair, Maestro, because does the term sweat equity mean anything to you? That's where you invest a portion of your time and your skills for future potential payout.
This means nothing to me.
You know I'm on a mission from God, yeah?
Yeah, you put that in your email. Is he paying your bills too? Look, Mr. Blue, may I call you that?
Juke's fine, like jukebox and full of music and light. And
Mr. Juke, do you want my help or not?
How much do you want?
Listen, you want me to make a jingle, right? A jingle for your quest and your life. So it must be very special. And special things do not come cheaply this life.
So here we are at the front again. He was extremely reluctant to name a price, but he did say it's going to be ready by sundown, so yeah. Who knows if he's a vessel of Satan? It's impossible to tell. It's feng shui. Feng! Feng! Do you want to get a coffee?
After we had refreshed ourselves, we decided to begin the long journey to the edge of town, where the maestro told us to meet him. Unfortunately, along the way, Feng grew weary, and he was forced to rest by the roadside. I promised to return, however, and this time with the steed of his own. Finally we arrived. It was a small church by the sea, an unlikely place for Satan to strike, but you could never be too sure.
Mr. Juke, welcome.
Thank you.
You're out the back. Please,
Nice.
follow me. Ah, no. He will take this. Please.
Sure. Wow, nice place. Oh. Wow.
Come on, let's get prepared.
Very nice. Very nice. Wow, this I did not expect. Wow,
Nothing by halves, Mr. Juke.
very nice.
Please, take a seat.
Sure.
I was truly touched by the effort the maestro and his team of minstrels had made. I only hoped it wouldn't be a satanic chant that emerged from the depths of their fantastical gowns. To have come so far, only for Satan to steal the show now would be too much. But one look at the sheet music he had prepared dispelled my fears. It was a hymn, and a beautiful one at that. By the time I'd reached the final page, I was moved to tears.
Job done, man. Huh? Mission complete. Come on.
It's not that, man.
Come on.
Look how much he wants for it.
Come on, guys, we're ready.
Okay, let's go.
He'll pay me back, right?
Wait and hope. All human wisdom is contained in those two words.
So now I sing songs of angels, I sing songs of light, way up above you, as the nightingale in flight.